This is an electroceutical to make you faster, using ultrasound to build and fire the fast twitch muscles. Exercises on electroceuticals, ideas, advice. This will make you faster. We're going to teach you about producing large amounts of force, converting it into speed, and applying it in the right direction, and then decelerating less than everybody else. Learn running mechanics, and turn on the fast twitch muscles, all with this electroceutical. Now, as we look at the different structure of these sprinters, we have to understand how to duplicate this. And it starts with transferring strength into speed. So we have to have the strength to be able to generate that force and apply the force in the proper direction, the direction of force application. As we look at the beginning of the sprint, we need to make sure that the force is directed, overcoming the inertia, so that we are starting to run the direction that we are running, and we're applying that force mostly in that direction. As we apply force, we see that there's always a force being moved into the direction of running, also moving upwards to keep us from falling. So we have to make sure. Now here with the sled type of exercise is the best to help develop those muscles that the start of the sprint, so we can see how that force is directed as much as possible going forward, also to stop us from falling down. And we can learn this best if we learn to do the sled. The sled helps us to learn to power those muscles for the first couple of seconds. The first couple of seconds of the run, to make sure that we get the fastest start possible. Then we are going to look at a different mechanics to see what it takes to keep us upright and keep us strong. Making sure that we learn how to get out of the blocks and how to stabilize, and then getting into the complete transformation. Now let's talk about some of the scientific ways of muscle development, such as maximum strength, vertical jump. This is a very powerful set that's been proven to help make you faster, doing these sets. But it's also been shown that if we use too much weight, it doesn't work as well. So we use about 30% body weight. This way we can start to make sure we develop the proper muscles to get the action. Here, with the electroceuticals we play. Now the barbell hip thrust, this is another one, very, very powerful, that has been shown to increase the speed. By increasing the muscles, we increase the force. Now we want to apply high peak forces to be able to, during the middle of the match, generate that power and move forward. Now it's being able to keep us upright and move us forward. And we have to watch. And then at the end, we need to decelerate less than the opponents. Be able to continue the acceleration. And to do this, we need to be able to find different muscle strengths and different muscle exercises to help increase our musculature, making us faster. And here's a very key one, done with some bands to help to teach your muscles speed. Little bands that will help to increase the muscle speed. The electroceutical vibrations that are being played now are also there to help you learn about force velocity profile and how to generate that force, that maximizing force. These different exercises can be done virtually in the mind, or also can be done reality. Now look at how he's moving. If your foot is being captured before the body, then some of the force is actually driving you backwards. Make sure that your force is always driving you forward, so that when you contact the ground, make sure that that force is being converted Correct use of your arms can dramatically increase your power and speed. When you're running, the foot should be hitting the ground approximately the same place underneath you to make sure you get the proper force. Learn how to use these different exercises and learn how to develop the balance and the musculature.
Don't forget the other leg.
Eccentric Romanian deadlifts. Another exercise to help increase speed by increasing the musculature. And as we start to learn and do these sets and learn the drills, along with the ElectroCeuticals, to help us learn to fire the muscles so that we'll be increasing our speed.
Don't forget the other leg. Don't forget the other leg.
Now, as we watch these sprinters as they take off, we can see that their foot hits the ground approximately right underneath them. Just barely in front so that they make the motion. But also recognize, you see how the toes are involved, how the whole foot is used. And then also recognize to not decelerate at the end, unless you got a big lead. So as we see the different motion, we'll see that the foot is going to strike just basically underneath the shoulders, just slightly in front of the hips, making sure that we get the proper musculature. Now watch the toes of our famous sprinter here, as he's reaching out with the toes, then kicking off with the toes. This is very important, that the whole leg with the foot. We also start to learn about the fulcrum, how the tibia and the fibia are going to be making a class liver with the pivot here at the knee, so that we can get the proper load and get the proper kick. We have to make sure that we do not lock or fully extend the knee. We have to make sure that we keep everything driving and moving liquid. Proper fast use of the hands is very important in this sprint, to be able to also increase the power. Now, if we look at the fulcrum, we're going to see one of the other key fulcrums, not just the knees, down here at the foot, where catching on the toes and then powering, we capture the ability to be able to get that stored energy of the foot and the calf, all that energy, to reach out and utilize those toes into the drive phase. Now, as we look at this fulcrum of the foot, and we start to see in the animal kingdom different types of 4-bar levers. Here in the human, we have a different type of system, but when we get to the dog, we're going to see that the dog has a different structure, and actually he is running much more on his toes. If you see here where he is running, the dog and the cat are running on their toes. This is what makes them so much faster. They're going to be able to run on the toes. And you can too. Start to learn to develop the muscles of the toes and the foot. And now we have certain different muscle exercises to help to increase your speed by teaching you to increase those toes. And now to learn to run more on the toes, like the dog and cat, dramatically increasing your speed. As you learn to do these muscle exercises to increase the muscle strength, the muscle flexibility, the flexibility of the bone, the ligaments, all the different cartilage, you start to get the power and you learn to utilize the toes. Spending the time to increase all of the different powers of the muscles of the foot, especially the arch and the toes themselves. So you start to learn to run on the toes like an animal, increasing your speed dramatically. Running barefoot on the sand or on grass can also dramatically increase the power of your toes and the power of your foot to increase your speed.
Suspend your disbelief. Quantum techniques really do work. These exercises, advice, and the electroceuticals will make you faster, help you to build muscle memory, help you to increase your performance, keep you in the zone, help you to build your stamina, and create a balance between your body and your mind. If you use high-quality headphones, you can increase the effect and the efficacy of the electroceuticals getting into your body electric.